inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Here's a tricky question. Do I have to show up on social media every single day, August? Okay, let me answer that. No one has to do anything, but I want to discuss this topic because I see a lot of entrepreneurs get really touchy and really sensitive about this. They'll say things like, I'm going to live my life and my business is not going to run me. And that means that I'm not going to be on social media all the time. And then they do these like disappearing acts, whether that's for 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years. I don't know what they do. They just go on these hiatuses, right? And then they come back and they talk about how they're so rejuvenated and so refreshed. And people that are on social media all the time, they're overly absorbed and they need to get their priorities right. Well, number one, I don't care how anybody feels. You do what feels good for you. But for those of you that are in limbo and you would want to know what a coach thinks, I think that you should do what you want to do in proportion to the size of the outcome that you want to see. If you want to make a couple of $100s in your business every month, your behavior is going to be different than if you want to make a couple thousand versus if you want to break 6 figures in 1 month. And in the beginning of building a business, especially in the beginning of the building a business, one of the key components is being visual, whether that's your ads and your posts or your videos, whatever it is that you're doing, it requires you to be there. And for those of you that have larger, loftier goals in an arena where people can see you and know you for real to figure out whether or not they like you and whether or not they will purchase your products, I don't understand why so many people are trying to prove a point that they're human and not overly absorbed by technology by getting away from it. When you have to get away from it, that says more about you and your discipline or how you're feeling than it does about anybody else. I don't do this. I don't say, oh my God, I need to go on a hiatus. If something special is going on, it's my birthday, my anniversary, something special is going on with my kids. If I'm down because I'm not feeling good, if I'm just not on social media, I'm not on it. But I don't have these moments like, oh my God, I'm just losing sight of myself and I just don't know how I feel. And if I don't get away from social media because it's become such a distraction, I don't know how I'm going to function. That's not me. It wasn't me before I was an entrepreneur and it isn't me now. And the crazy thing is before I was an online entrepreneur, I didn't really do social media. And now I'm on some form of it virtually every single day. That's my preference. That's my choice. And there's nothing that makes me better than or less than the next man because I choose not to do it. But here's the angle that I want to come from. And I want some of you to really think about this. What in the hell are you doing anyway? Whether you're listening to music on SoundCloud or Spotify, or you're jamming on iHeartRadio, whether you're listening to this podcast on iTunes or on Libsyn, whether you're on Facebook or Snapchat or any of these other platforms, Pinterest, you are glued to some type of technology on a consistent basis. And most of you that are doing this, you're on there for personal reasons more than you are on there for professional reasons. There's one woman I know who has a product that she could have been promoting. I can tell you that maybe for the first 2 months when this new product came out, she was all gung-ho. Look at me. This is what I got. After that, everything else that I saw her put on social media had something to do with family and friends and gatherings and sports and dinners and movies, everything else under the sun. We don't talk about people that are on social media all the time, just putting up random stuff like, OMG, the look on your face when your boss is stupider than you. Oh, Lord, why am I still sitting in this line waiting? Did this heifer just try to do this to me? Look at this girl juking her booty on this video. Listen to this insane comedy skit that somebody else has going on. Let's have a thread where we talk about the latest television show, and we try not to do spoiler alerts, but we want to discuss everything. But for some reason, all of a sudden, we get to scrutinizing at a totally different capacity once we start talking about entrepreneurs. And then it's like, oh my God, well, should I or shouldn't I be on there that long? And I'm going to go right back to my employee versus entrepreneur mindset thing. I find that when entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs, it's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to burn myself out on my business and work 12 and 14 and 16-hour days. That's not why I became an entrepreneur. Mind you, you're saying this and you don't make a dime in your business, not a single dime. However, if you had a job and they gave mandatory overtime, instead of disputing it, looking into the laws of your city or your state and seeing what you could do, you just drag your butt right on to work and you slave for those pennies that you're going to get that you're unsatisfied with. And so the only thing I'm saying is just level the playing field. Let's stop changing the standards when we go from talking to entrepreneurial people versus the non-entrepreneurial. Because when you were chilling and you were doing what you were doing on the internet, you did what you did based on the way you wanted to do it. Well, let me give you a wake-up call. In this lifetime, there are certain things that you're going to have to do that you don't even want to do if you plan on being successful. I understand that you don't really like social media. Listen to me. I did not want anything to do with Facebook. I had it. I got the account. I got on there and I was like, this is stupid. Why are people telling everyone that they're going to the spa for a day with their girls and letting it be known that their house is going to be empty for 3 hours so that somebody can know the perfect time to go break in? Why do I care what your food looks like? It seemed totally stupid to me. However, now I have a paid Facebook group. I have made money from advertising products and services. It's part of the way that people find me among other social media platforms. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. And you want to know what? I've actually fallen in love with it from a professional standpoint, and not even just professional, but even personal, because I've met some amazing people and developed some very awesome relationships that I would have never been able to cultivate, let alone have, period, let alone cultivate, if it were not for social media. So the thing is, are you going through some emotional issue, being overly spiritual, possibly being judgmental? What's really going on when you're making the comment that I'm not going to be on social media and ruin my life and never have time? My business is not going to run my life. To me, those kind of statements are already red flags, because I love what I do so much. It's hard to pull me away from doing it. I was literally in a very bad place because of a detox that I started, but yet and still I found myself on certain occasions pulling myself out of that funk because of some things that I could do for people that I knew and I cared about, and I had to do it through a social media channel, and it actually picked and perked up my spirit for the moment. See, when you're walking in your purpose, your work doesn't feel like work. And unfortunately, for those of you who thought that you became an entrepreneur to get rid of a boss and to get more control, what you did was got you plenty of more bosses and lost a lot of control. You have to work your ass off in order to get back to the place where you regain the control. Quit saying that you got to get off social media to prove that your business isn't taking advantage of you. At least you're on social media, spending your time and bringing in the dough, as opposed to being on social media and being like some people who are only socializing and have nothing to gain but some negative energy from somebody else about another post about some woman being disrespected, whether or not relationships do or don't work out. All of this shit is fake, etc., etc., etc. Instead of being involved in mindless conversation or the typical, you're on social media making a name for yourself, a reputation, and some money at the same time. If you don't want to be on there, don't be on there. But don't think that you have to do something to make sure you keep from being brainwashed. Social media is not going to brainwash you. It isn't going to take over you. It's just going to open up the avenues of opportunity for you if you should please. That's your nugget for today. As far as I'm concerned, I'm on social media as much as possible. I take a break when I feel like it. And if I feel like it, but I need to be there, then I don't take a break because I handle my business. I'd love to hear what your feedback is on this one. I know that this was a little bit touchy, but you know what it always is? It's real. Looking forward to hearing your feedback. This is your girl, August Crenshaw. I'm outie. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.don't bitch podcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in